This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on what your kids are spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/iHeart.
Let your imagination take flight with an AI-powered PC from Lenovo. Whether it's creating digital art, designing new software, or building a portfolio for a future career, our PCs are powered by Intel Core Ultra processors to help students unlock smarter learning and unleash their creativity. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel inside. All you have to do is choose the one that fits your passion. Head to Lenovo.com to shop AI PCs and find your perfect companion. Plus, get 5% off when you create an education account.
And here we have a specimen from the early 2000s, a legacy investing platform. Please don't touch the exhibit, folks. It could crash.
Ready to step out of the financial history museum? At Public.com, you can invest in almost everything. Stocks, bonds, options, and more. You could even put your cash to work at an industry-leading 4.1% APY. Leave your clunky, outdated platform behind. Go to Public.com and fund your account in 5 minutes or less. Paid for by Public Investing Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Full disclosures at Public.com/disclosures.
Fan.
Couple 13-14 pastime comedies tend to be the legendary Mark Rosen, formerly of Channel 4 Sports. Your whole life just sports fame joins us now. Earlier, we did a lazy radio, list radio. We took a look at a list that had the number one do-overs for each NFL team. If you could do something over for the Vikings.
I missed that somehow.
For the Vikings, it would have been they would take back the Favre pass across the body. That's what they
one
listed.
play, not a player.
Well, whatever.
Okay, sure.
Whatever. Maybe they just said the biggest do-over. They didn't say anything other than just a do-over. My biggest do-over would have been to hit a 5-iron today instead of a 6 on 16 at Woodhill. 10 of B's would be that 90s hip-hop trivia game, I would think. What would be your biggest do-over, Mark Rosen?
Oh, for myself personally?
I would say, I can guess, agreeing to work with the common man every day.
That's pretty close.
We'll probably do that over.
That's pretty close. I mean, that was
Rosen and I have that in common.
Wow. That was an interesting add-on.
Well, there's that.
Yeah. That's a fascinating question. Really is. I got to think about it.
How about your life has gone so well you can't even think of a do-over?
No, I have plenty.
I can come up with like dozens. You're like...
No.
Dozens? You're struggling.
No,
I can come up with hundreds.
Hundreds?
I have plenty. I just, in terms of...
How many regrets do you have? A few, but too few.
Everybody has regrets.
Yeah,
of course. We don't have a straight line of our life. We just kind of a jagged corners here and there and everywhere, and you try to make the best decisions at the time. Try to tell your kids the same thing. You got to take responsibilities for your own actions. I mean, there's all that stuff. But,
how about for you, for the do-over, would you have decided not to run drugs when you were younger?
I did not run drugs.
Well, yeah, you did. You pedaled your bike and you delivered for the pharmacy. You were a drug runner.
That's true.
You were a drug runner.
But I didn't pedal my bike. They gave me a car.
Oh, they did? Okay.
A Corvair.
Oh.
It was a...
Pretty dangerous car. Remember when...
yeah, I got in an accident with it the first day I had the job. I actually banged into someone, and I swear to God, I haven't had one. Knock on wood. I just like a couple months ago, I backed into my post in my garage. I like, what am I doing? What were you thinking? I wasn't. I was listening.
Has Karen considered taking the keys from you? You're getting to that age.
She has. It may happen sooner than later. But no, I've been very fortunate that way. But I was peddling drugs. That was one of my favorite jobs. Yeah. Driving. Think about that. I don't know. I don't think that exists anymore. But having someone actually deliver your prescriptions to your home.
Yeah, I don't think they do it. No. Maybe somewhere, but I don't know.
I was doing it without navigation systems or any cell phones or anything like that. That was a stressful part of my town drug experience.
Speaking of delivering, how about the Twins delivering a key hit at the right moment? Maybe a key defensive play or a key pitching performance. It's been bad lately.
It's one thing or another. We talked about it yesterday. You know, when they get good starting pitching, then the hitting disappears. When they get decent hitting, then they can't get an out like last night with Brock Stewart. And they are where they are because of a combination of those things. They're just not doing the timing and the little things right, and it's just, and it's a confidence thing. I really do believe that when they had that 13-game winning streak, you start believing good things are going to happen one way or another before the game is over, and they all talked about that, and now you're just kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop in any particular game. It doesn't matter what team they're playing, the circumstances. Obviously on the road, they're having all sorts of problems, but it's very discouraging, to say the least. I don't think they have any answers. I mean, David Festa's not the answer. They don't have any other help coming up through the ranks from a starting pitching standpoint. So I don't think they're going to be. If they finish 500, they'll be very, very lucky. They'll be very fortunate. I think this year. I don't know. I don't even know if Pablo will end up coming back. I mean, it may be at the point going, well, what? Just shut him down.
Is that what you've heard? Or?
No. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm sure he'd love to come back, but I mean, every time you hear about an extended injury like that, usually add another 3 weeks to a month. It's never like, oh, he might be out 2 to 3. It's never that way. They're always out an extra 3 weeks. Doesn't matter what the situation.
So he could be donezo for the year?
Well, he could be. I mean, that's a decision that Pablo and his agent have to make, and the Twins, obviously, and where they are competitively to say, what's it worth to come back? I mean, I'm sure he'd like to pitch. He's a very competitive guy. But if you're pitching for a team that's going nowhere.
Right.
I don't know. You're under contract. You go out there and you perform when you're ready to. So.
Here's a controversial question, and there's no other show that would tackle this. We're watching on the screen, not watching, but it's on in the background. It's on the 55-inch Toshiba Regs. It's a College World Series game between Coastal and Louisville. And
right
now look at first base here.
Okay.
They have 2 bases. They don't do this in Major League, do they? Look at this. There are 2 bases there. Oh, they didn't show it.
They didn't show it yet.
They have the regular white base that they use to for the first baseman to touch. Then there's another base right next to it that's green, and it's on the outside part of in the foul territory.
Oh, see youth baseball all the time.
Is that?
It should be that every level should have
so
that.
That's something.
Oh, I see it right now. Yeah.
Yeah, so then, the first baseman can use the one base and the runner goes through the other base.
I've not seen that until today.
Especially youth. I mean, you get some, these kids that, they're like my kids' age, like, they don't know how to properly stand at first base. You see collisions there all the time.
Okay.
I like that. I honestly, I haven't seen that either.
I did not know they did that. I knew that they made the base bigger in big leagues, but I had no idea they did it. That does seem like a good idea.
So the batter touches that green base.
The green base.
Out.
Yep.
I do like that.
I do like it too. Yeah. It seems safer. Why didn't they think of that earlier?
I don't know.
All Doubleday cared about was a peach basket. Why didn't he think about the base?
Well, there's all sorts of new rules that they're experimenting with, including the automatic balls and strikes instead of having an umpire.
Yeah, right. RoboCop.
We've seen, and I still don't. I can't get used to the runner on second base in the 10th inning bit. I don't know. I'm just old school that way. I don't like it.
I don't either. I never did.
But this seems like a nice addition with the preventing injuries, all sorts of collisions, and doesn't take anything away from the actual game. No, I had not seen it. I've watched some of the college.
In Tennessee, you say they do it in youth baseball.
That's interesting.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it shows you that's not an expense thing. It's not like we got to add this now. We're not going to be able to afford umpires.
Right. Well, like in the National Football League.
They have a finite budget in the NFL.
They have a finite budget.
You can't have that camera on the goal line.
That's why you don't have cameras on every goal line, because they have a finite budget.
Yeah, they sure do. They have a finite budget, all right.
I'm sure Rosen regrets sitting next to the guy with the oxygen tank at the theater. Maybe that is one of your biggest regrets, isn't it?
People remember these things.
Of course they do.
That was not good. That was not good. I felt bad for that gentleman, but I felt worse for me.
Of course you did.
I can't believe people drink that stuff.
Well, I remember it too.
Oh my God. That Larry Mondello guy?
No, my weed guy delivers to my house. So this guy's his pusher.
Oh, okay. Well,
he delivers dope to his home.
I was, in theory, delivering legal prescriptions that were ordered from the farm. Now, you can interpret that any way you want, but I would get, 8, 10 different places to go, and I'd go on my merry way, listening to Tack Hammer and on the radio. And is that WDGY or KDWB? I don't know. I listened to one of them.
This text messenger said it's called a safety base and it's been around a long time. Well, how long is a long time? I've never seen it.
I'm surprised you guys have never seen that before.
Never in my life. I'd never heard of a safety base before.
I got to tell you, I don't remember seeing it either. What other levels? High school they have it?
I don't know. I just saw it for the first time in my life.
Oh.
Never knew it existed.
Didn't either.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
2 chickens in every pot and 2 bases on every baseline.
It's just first base.
Is it just first base? What about third base?
I wouldn't think they need it for third.
No, just first.
No. For obvious reasons.
All we need is one guy to break his ankle on third, slam it into a guy, and then we're going to have to have a safety base.
I mean, frankly, catcher and home plate is probably where the most collisions.
Well, that's why they outlawed the blocking of the plate, to avoid those big collisions that they used to have. When Pete Rose used to go head first into Ray Fosse, and yeah, those major collisions. Twins got into a bunch of them, but that's the way the game was played.
A lot of Durantula dirt out there. I want to bounce a few things off you. We talked about it in depth last hour. It's controversial. Will Durantula end up being in a Timberwolf uniform? Some people think it's possible. Others think it's not. And apparently, the Wolves have made a trade offer.
For Durantula?
Durantula. I've got some names. This is from some insider in Phoenix.
There's a lot of those.
So we'll see what you think of that. Other side of the break is the Common Man program right here on The Fan.
You know what's great about your investment account with the big guys? It's actually a time machine. Log in and zoom. Welcome back to 1999. It's time for an upgrade. At Public.com, you can invest in almost everything. Stocks, bonds, options, and more. You could even put your cash to work at an industry-leading 4.1% APY. Leave your clunky, outdated platform behind at Public.com. Go to Public.com and fund your account in 5 minutes or less. Paid for by Public Investing Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Full disclosures at Public.com/disclosures.
Come on, why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra light, ultra powerful, and built for serious productivity. With Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance, it keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com. Lenovo. Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
So you want to start a business. You might think you need a team of people and fancy tech skills, but you don't. You just need GoDaddy Aero. I'm Walton Goggins, and as an actor, I'm an expert in looking like I know what I'm doing, even when I don't. And I like the sound of starting my own business, Walton Goggins Goggle Glasses. But I'm an actor. I don't know what I'm doing. I needed help. GoDaddy Aero uses AI to create everything you need to grow a business. It'll make you a unique logo. It'll create a custom website. It'll write social posts for you and even set you up with a social media calendar. I didn't even realize I needed a social media calendar. GoDaddy Aero will take your idea that sounds good and make a business that looks like you know what you're doing. GoDaddy Aero can get your business up and running in minutes. You know what that sounds like? It sounds like a plan. Get started at GoDaddy.com/Aero. That's GoDaddy.com/AIRO.
Get this. Adults with financial literacy skills have 82% more wealth than those who don't. From swimming lessons to piano classes, us parents invest in so many things to enrich our kids' lives. But are we investing in their future financial success? With Greenlight, you can teach your kids financial literacy skills like earning, saving, and investing. And this investment costs less than that after-school treat. Start prioritizing their financial education and future today with a risk-free trial at greenlight.com/iHeart. greenlight.com/iHeart.
name is Mike Ilitch. Mike Ilitch owns does he own the Tigers and the Red Wings both?
Yeah, it's the family. They've been in Detroit forever. Is that the pizza?
I thought he was Domino's pizza guy.
The Ilitch family's been around forever in Detroit. Why? What about him?
We were just talking about teams for sale. I said I'd rather buy the Tigers.
Right.
We were just talking about teams for sale because Tampa Bay apparently.
Oh, I said Papa John's was Little Caesars. I screwed that up.
Caesars.
Well, and I screwed up too because I said it was Domino's.
Yeah.
Pizza.
It's good pizza.
I don't mind I like most pizza.
I'm with you. I don't know if they had 3 different brands and put a piece of pizza down in front of you. If you could,
I could tell.
I could tell.
Wait a minute.
Between Domino's, Papa John's, and Little Caesars, I could tell.
And between I can tell between all of them. Between
I don't eat it as much.
The one you did the endorsement for, Carboni's.
Yeah,
I could tell.
I could tell that. Yeah.
Devani's. I could taste a piece. That's Devani's. Yeah, absolutely.
It's like you being able to tell between a Manny steak and an Outback Steakhouse.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, you can do that.
Thing.
Oh, in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Mr. Swordfish guy over there.
Tilapia. That's my new fish.
You like tilapia?
I've been eating that at least twice a week. Yeah, seasoned on it. Put it in the air fryer. Oh, so good.
I told him I think fish has zero taste. It tastes fishy, is what it tastes like.
Not all fish. No, if you got a little seasoning on it, it's really good.
I'd rather eat beef. Fish is better for you. I get that, but I
understand that. It's not like steak is bad for you.
But
eating it 5 times a week,
right? But there is that.
Yeah.
There's a story out there. Hold on. I lost my story. Here it is. No. Here it is. No. Wait. I've got it. Tennessee sent this to me earlier.
Okay.
Full court passes. The Timberwolves have a current trade proposal on the table.
All right.
Hold on.
It's time now.
Kevin Durant way outside. Delivers!
For the latest dish on Durant.
I like dirt on Durant, but either one works.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the deal. Durant for Gobert, DiVincenzo,
right.
Rob Dillingham, and or Terrence Shannon in the 17th pick overall. Would you do that deal if you were the Wolves?
Not crazy about it. First of all, I would not include Terrence Shannon. I think Shannon has got a really great future. Dillingham is a bigger question mark.
You think he's the point guard of the future? Is that what you said yesterday?
I don't know who, Dillingham or Shannon?
Dillingham. I thought you said Dillingham was the point guard.
I think he has an opportunity. He's a young kid. I mean, he's got a couple of years to go before he kind of figures things out. And I think this summer is going to be, as Finch said yesterday, it's a real big summer for Rob Dillingham and Terrence Shannon. Shannon is more, we've seen it already. He's more NBA ready right now. In fact, I think a lot of fans wanted to see more of him, and I
you did.
I certainly did. I was screaming from the ceiling. And Finch said yesterday that he's going to be a bigger part of a rotation next year. Well, he should be. He's got that quick twitch, get to inside the lane. He can he can shoot from the outside. Obviously, he's got things to work on. It'll be a big summer for him as well. Gobert, I can see that. Although it's not, it's easier said than done to how to replace his defensive presence. We know his limitations. We know his hands aren't great. He can't shoot outside of 2 feet. And but he still is a very, very imposing figure defensively, and it's hard to replace him with anyone on the roster. I mean, it just is. DiVincenzo, I was a little disappointed in this year. I thought he was going to really be a real force offensively, and after watching him with the Knicks, and he had his moments, but either he was wildly inconsistent, didn't get his playing time was all over the map. But 17th pick, I don't think. I mean, you get a decent player there. Could draft potentially a future center there. But I don't think any of these things matter until the Wolves, their inside sources, get the word that Durant is okay to come here. I mean, you're not going to. If anything else, and that's what Trent Tucker had told me about Kevin Durant, he's a very sensitive individual. That's the word he used, sensitive. I don't know what that means in terms of teamwork, being able to be that ultimate, if the Wolves are, Kevin Durant away from really making a run for an NBA championship, is he willing to go all in on all of that? We know he's a prolific scorer. We know he's one of the greatest shooters of all time.
Like Durant.
But unless he wants to play here, I don't know what you say. I mean, it's like the Suns, they could make that trade. I mean, he could. We know the players are certainly of that stature, kind of run the league. They kind of decide, no, I don't want to play there. I mean, he's not a free agent, so he can't just say, I'm going to go.
How does a guy like that not have a no-trade clause? More if he doesn't want to go somewhere he doesn't have to go. Don't all the biggest names in sports say, included in my contract, I want a no-trade
I don't think it's a situation where he doesn't want to go somewhere. I think he wants to be a little more particular about where he goes. And
I don't think he has that.
No, I know he does not.
That's what I'm saying. Why? But a lot of players have that in their contract. Says, well, sure they do that. I can only be traded to these 4 teams.
Oh, I see. These 4. Yeah, that would be it. Yeah. Well, so I don't know.
Because from what I've heard, if people are saying, well, Phoenix has got to do what's best for Phoenix.
Right.
Well, that must mean that he doesn't have Minnesota on a list of no trade.
Correct.
So, but why wouldn't he? When you're Kevin Durant, you should be able to call most of your own shots. But
yeah, but getting back to the way that sits right now, it's hard to imagine that. I mean, Durant's agent certainly could pick up the phone and deal with Tim Conley and go, we're fine. If you guys want to make that deal, I guarantee you my guy will be all in.
Derek from St. Paul says, John Krasinski this morning at 9 to News said the Wolves haven't offered anything for KD. That's a false rumor.
Well, it might be, and that might be the reason why. Because until they get the word that KD wants to come here, why would you bother making an offer for him? It's ridiculous. I mean, if he really, truly doesn't, and I thought it was kind of blowing smoke a little bit, but I think there's some more to it than that because of the way, like I said, whether it's LeBron or KD or over the years, James Harden. I mean, a lot of the bigger names in the league can kind of decide where they want to go.
I want to stir it up a little bit.
Well, I know you love to stir it up.
So I'm going to do it right now.
All right.
Maybe Johnny Krasinski is just saying that because he got scooped by scooped by Gambo 987.
I don't think so.
Well, how do you know? Do you know? Maybe he got scooped by Gambo 987 and he's bitter about it. You know how these newsbreaker guys are.
Johnny K's not a bitter human being.
These newsbreaker guys.
Yeah.
They don't like it when the rug gets pulled out from under them and someone beats them to the punch. So then they just start saying, well, that's not true.
Johnny Krasinski? He's a pretty level-headed guy. I don't see him getting overreacted.
Trent Tucker tells me that John Krasinski's sensitive. That's the word he used when talking about John Krasinski.
And then how do you know that John Krasinski? How well do you know John Krasinski?
Quite well.
Mark? Oh, really?
Yeah. It's been a lot. I've spent considerable time with him. I know his personality, I think, and I know his professionalism. I don't think he's one that. And he's one that if someone got a scoop on it, he'd tip his cap.
You think he would?
Yes. He'd go as so and so. I've seen him do it. As so-and-so reported, and sometimes he tag teams it. No, I don't think he's in the. He's not that kind of an individual. He's not Stephen A. Smith.
I guess I'll just have to take your word for it.
You will, but I don't know. I think that I'm anxious for this to move on one way or another because I do think they still need a point guard, and I think that's.
I thought you thought they had it with Rob Dillingham.
I never said that.
Didn't you say that yesterday?
I said the number one priority for this team, I think, should be an established point guard.
He was doubting Dillingham yesterday.
I was doubting him right now. I think he's 2-3 years away.
I thought you said he was a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer.
I never came close to saying that. Right. I like Shannon more than Dillingham. Dillingham's got skills, and I think that's he's young. Shannon is more ready to play, as we've seen in the NBA right now, than Rob Dillingham. But I still think no matter what, even if Dillingham could project him as a starter a couple of years from now, doesn't solve their problems right now. We'll
pause one more second to go here on the segment to go. Some people wish it was one more second. I do as well. One more segment here on the Common Man program on the Fan.
You know what's great about your investment account with the big guys? It's actually a time machine. Log in and zoom. Welcome back to 1999. It's time for an upgrade. At public.com, you can invest in almost everything. Stocks, bonds, options, and more. You could even put your cash to work at an industry-leading 4.1% APY. Leave your clunky, outdated platform behind at public.com. Go to public.com and fund your account in 5 minutes or less. Paid for by Public Investing Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Full disclosures at public.com/disclosures.
Come on, why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity. With Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance, it keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com. Lenovo. Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
So you want to start a business. You might think you need a team of people and fancy tech skills, but you don't. You just need GoDaddy Aero. I'm Walton Goggins, and as an actor, I'm an expert in looking like I know what I'm doing, even when I don't. And I like the sound of starting my own business, Walton Goggins Goggle Glasses. But I'm an actor. I don't know what I'm doing. I needed help. GoDaddy Aero uses AI to create everything you need to grow a business. It'll make you a unique logo. It'll create a custom website. It'll write social posts for you and even set you up with a social media calendar. I didn't even realize I needed a social media calendar. GoDaddy Aero will take your idea that sounds good and make a business that looks like you know what you're doing. GoDaddy Aero can get your business up and running in minutes. You know what that sounds like? It sounds like a plan. Get started at GoDaddy.com/Aero. That's GoDaddy.com/AIRO.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
The Fan.
Couple 13-14 past Common Man program. I'm Common. He's Tennessee, along with the legendary Mark Rosen. I think I owe you now 14 minus 2. No, minus is 3 is 11 plus 2. I think I owe you $13 right.
Okay. Yeah, that was a crazy night last night.
Yeah, the Panthers pretty much dominated start to finish. They got, despite the 2-0 lead being the most dangerous lead in hockey, they built upon that, ended up winning their second consecutive Stanley Cup.
Yeah, they have the right mix down there. They have a great management. They acquired Ted and I were talking beforehand. Getting Kachuk, getting Marchand. They know how to fill in the blanks even after successful years they had last year when they won the cup. And they could be the first team since the Islanders to go three-peat next year. And Florida's been dominating Tampa Bay, Florida. Too bad for Edmonton. I don't know what they do now. I mean, they got rocked last night. I mean, they made it. Florida had its issues, did they not? Tenna coming in, and they didn't breeze through. There was a Toronto series they had that was pretty tough.
Yeah,
that was so. They were on the rocks a couple different times. It wasn't like they just breezed through every.
Well, it sounds like they had a bunch of players dealing with some pretty major injuries throughout the playoffs as well, including Kachuk.
Interesting. Yeah, exactly. It's hard to read that. He had it's ribs separated or whatever it might be. It was
the adductor, wherever that is.
Adductor, yeah, it sounded painful.
Sounds like a hip groin type ab type thing.
Well, when you got McDavid and Draisaitl and you got that team, those two players to build around, and they, it's like, how do you get over the hump? How do you just kind of run it back? I mean, I'm sure they got some other players in their system. They can figure it out, but now Canada's gone since 1993, since winning a cup, the entire country. So.
Well, technically, they got to make a decision on Connor McDavid, or maybe Connor McDavid has to make a decision because he's got just one more year under contract.
Uh-oh.
So he's technically a free agent in 26-27.
Isn't that the same as Kirill? Or is that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Connor will make himself a very wealthy man.
Yes, he will. I don't think he's going anywhere. It had to be painful for Gretzky sitting up there last night.
We got plenty of money.
Plenty of money.
We got money.
Not enough. You want to pair McDavid with Kirill? That would
Wouldn't you?
Of course. Who wouldn't? Yeah.
Tennessee, you know what might be your biggest do-over even than the 90s hip-hop trivia?
Yeah.
The Gary Bettman interview. And you remember it well.
Well, yeah, I was young and inexperienced at the time.
And think about it, your whole career changed when...
I hadn't done it at a high level for a long time like others around here.
And then PA took you aside and basically guided you through it.
Bettman is such a... Everywhere he goes, I mean, of all commissioners, and like Goodell gets booed every time he's at a draft or whatever, and they all get booed everywhere. Bettman is not the dynamic personality.
He's not likable.
No, he's not. He's given away the cup last night, and he's saying all the great things about the Sunshine State and the Panthers organization, but he looks so uncomfortable doing it. I guess that's not his job, but
I've been playing unathletic beer league softball since the late 90s as a first baseman, and I don't remember not having a safety base. I don't ever...
Man.
They've been around for a long time.
Must be.
I don't believe
No, they're not everywhere.
I think they just started today because I've never seen one. I think this is the first one ever done. All right, let me ask you this.
All right.
What if you hit it in the gap and you round first base and you touch the white base? Does that not count then?
Of course it does.
No, it still counts.
Yeah. It's just to avoid a collision.
I know.
I don't think it's against the rules to hit the white base. Is it running down the line?
I don't know. I'm against it.
Against what?
You're against safety.
I'm against safety.
You want more collisions.
I don't know. It's non-contact.
Well,
sport.
that's why I kind of missed the home plate collisions. Those were fun.
Oh, yeah, you'd love to watch it, too, guys.
You like concussions, huh?
Yeah.
I love it.
You like CTE.
Let me get you applauded when Ray Fosse's career came to an end after being...
It's an all-star game, too. Pete Rose.
You just said you loved it.
No, I mean, I think there were times when it was appropriate. But now you can't block the plate. So I get it. Of course, it's understandable why they want to protect players. Listen, our guys get hurt running down the first baseline, so I don't think that's a concern for the Twins. They usually pull muscles just running it out to first.
You've been known for, when we talk about some of the trials and tribulations regarding the Twins, you'll always go, yeah, but look at the Yankees.
Well, that was a long time ago.
Well, look at the Yankees now. Not a long time ago. They've been shut out. Have they been shut out 3 games in a row? That can't be right.
I don't know. I haven't been paying attention to the Yankees lately.
It says for the first time in almost a decade, the New York Yankees have been shut out in 3 consecutive
How's that possible?
games. Well, that's what I'm saying. So,
Wow.
Go ahead and criticize the Twins all you want, which you did in the opening segment.
Yeah, thank you.
You lambasted them, and yet look at the Yankees. They've been shut out 3 games. At least we haven't been shut out 3 games in a row.
Yeah, but they're still in first place by 2.5 games.
Even if you go further past that, so they've lost 5 in a row. They've lost 4-0, 1-0, 2-0. Even the previous 3 games before that, lost 4-3, lost 2-1, won 1-0. So they haven't been scoring in 6 games.
They can't score any runs, Mark.
Oh, it's over for them.
All that.
I'm sure they really take it well in the Bronx.
Yeah. How big is that payroll?
Yeah, well, that's my point. See, it doesn't buy you championships. When was the last time the Yankees won a World Series? Been a long time. They were in it last year. Who are they playing right now? Looking for the schedule here.
They get the Angels again.
Tennessee, you know what I think your biggest regret is? Do-over. Your do-over.
Yeah.
Not, maybe it'd be your career, but it's not your career. It's not the 90s hip-hop trivia contest. It's not the Gary Bettman interview. It's hitting a check swing home run and slow pitch softball. That went over the fence and were counted.
That's number 1 on the list.
That should be number 1.
Yeah.
You must regret swinging like that. You just backed. Well, think about it.
I like how you now changed the story to it being a check swing.
Wasn't it a check swing?
No, it was a full swing.
Oh, okay.
Opposite field.
Yankee fans were booing Aaron Judge last night.
Well, of course they do. That's the beauty of New York. They're not going to take any
They have
prisoners.
higher standards.
100%.
By the way, the 2009 Yankees did win the World Series.
I know.
Oh.
As I said, it's been a while.
Okay.
I didn't say they haven't. How long has it been? 2009. That's a long time ago. For New York standards, that's a lifetime ago. I think Jeter was on that team. I mean, it's been a while. Not good. New York teams they've been teasing everyone. They have not had a lot of success lately.
I'm not paying as close attention to the WNBA as I once did.
Oof.
But
wow.
Saw a story about are other teams like beating up on Caitlin Clark, getting really physical with her? Because that's what the headline is.
Yes, they are. They are. And last night, they
don't like all the money she's making for them, apparently.
Suns get physical, or Sun get physical with Caitlin Clark, but Fever Star has the last laugh.
Yeah, it was pretty intense, and there were no suspensions. I'm reading the update right now from the Suns and the Fever game last night. There were a pair of scuffles. Indiana guard Sophie Cunningham got a flagrant 2, immediately disqualified for her hard foul on J.C. Sheldon, who was guarding Caitlin throughout. And, Caitlin got poked in the eye, got pushed down, forcefully bumping Clark to the ground. I mean, yeah, she's putting up. I'll tell you what, she's pushing back, though. Pushing back, not just with her shooting, but with her mouth. And it part of it is, I'm not saying it's good theatrics. It's good for the game. There's nothing wrong with a little physical play. But Caitlin's had a bullseye on her back, I think, from a lot of reasons. And yes, she's the moneymaker now for everybody. She's the reason probably why they're flying charters. She's the reason why the TV ratings have skyrocketed anytime that she's on. And she's playing really well. The team's gotten a whole lot better. And they're going to be playing here July 1st against the Lynx in the.
Will you be there?
Oh, I'm going to be out of town celebrating my wife's birthday. Oh. So I will not be there. Otherwise, we would have been there 100%. I flipped over from the hockey game last night when it was a blowout in the second period. Then I wanted it to be a close game. I flipped over and watched the Lynx. They were down early, came back without Nafisa Collier, who has some sort of a back strain. It didn't
How serious is it?
I don't know. It didn't look serious when she walked off on her own. She kind of grabbed her lower right side of the back. But you never know about those things. So they won without her. Diamond Miller, who was a draft pick 2 years ago, played really well. And it shows you they got a good complementary team. It's not just Nafisa Collier. She's the best player in the league right now. So
better than Caitlin Clark?
Overall.
Oh.
Yeah, she's a better overall player.
Oh.
Yes, I think so. I think most people would agree with that.
Tennessee, would you agree with that?
Oh, wow. Well, he's entitled to his own opinion. I'm just saying.
I don't think Caitlin Clark has the help Fee does.
Maybe not, but I think
Fee's got a lot of help.
She's just got a great, smooth overall game. Caitlin's a great shooter, and she's a terrific player. Look, she's the moneymaker for the whole league.
When you see yellow, do you think of Caitlin Clark?
What?
Tommy Olsen.
That's what I do.
So Tommy Olsen said, he says when he sees the color yellow, he immediately thinks. Caitlin.
Does he?
Yeah, that's what he said.
That was actually Parker Fox.
Oh, was that Parker?
Parker said that, yeah.
It sounds like something Tommy would say.
The head coach of Indiana had a rather pointed comment. Stephanie White said after the game, everybody in the league is getting better except the officials. Whoa.
Oh, my gosh.
So, it's
always the officials.
Always the officials. But last night they did not. They let things get out of hand.
Who was that who said that?
That was Stephanie White.
Wait, who is she?
She's the head coach of the Indiana.
You know what I'd say? I'd say Stephanie White coached better.
She coached quite well last night. But yeah, it adds more. I know people are going to have their opinions about it. The Caitlin thinks you're going to have a target on her back.
Well, it could be.
She's pretty good at taking a flop, though, too.
Can I say something here? Yeah, could it be just they figure if she's a prolific scorer, like in hockey, don't you try to, if quarterback, you try to sack them, rough them up, get them gunshots.
Yes.
Same you do in hockey. You do it in football. So in other words, it's like, are they just saying, well, the only way to slow her down is let's get physical with her? Is it really that they See what I'm saying? Isn't that what they're doing, or is it?
I think it's more than that.
I think it gets a little bit over the top. But yes,
so you're saying there's something nefarious about it. What are they doing? Well, if it's more than that, what do you mean by it? It's more than that.
Well, I think there's a lot of jawing going on, and the physical part of it is, yes, I think you can play good defense, hard defense against her, as we've seen in the NBA with SGA. They try to.
So you think the
around.
other players in the league hate her? There's envy and jealousy.
I think there's some
what
players
suggesting, or what? I don't know.
Yes, some players. Yes.
Know. Okay.
Some players, absolutely, 100%.
All right.
That she gets all the spotlight and she gets all the attention, but she's so good for the league that everybody can benefit from it. And it's not like she's getting a free pass. She's got to earn everything. But I think Caitlin now in her second year is confident enough to yak back at some of the stuff she's hearing and the nonsense she's hearing, and she's not afraid to sling it verbally either. And she's gotten stronger physically. And again, I what I don't like is that people go, WNBA is not worth watching without Caitlin Clark. I don't believe. I mean, I watch the Lynx. They're a terrific team, and we've seen some great teams with the Lynx, obviously with 4 championships. But they play the game the right way. Their passing is exquisite at times, and Cheryl's.
It's like a symphony when they're playing it at a high level.
It can be.
Yeah.
I mean, I really, really enjoy watching them. So, yeah, I mean, it's great for the league. It's great that they have this Commissioner's Cup and they got money on the line. That's something the players talked about last night. Yeah, they got that money means a lot to them. And they have an opportunity to play the game here at home on July the 1st again. And that place will be absolutely packed. I'm sure. I mean, they'll be selling upper level seats. It'll be like a playoff game.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
really?
It will.
Really?
Oh, Caitlin she would sell out anyway.
I do think they will, yeah.
Oh, 100%.
She sells out normal games.
So with a championship type of game on the line, yeah, it doesn't mean that it's not the
Commissioner's
WNBA.
Cup is big.
Well, it's money for the women.
Yeah, it is.
It's not so much just getting the cup.
Because it's the cup.
Because it's the cup. And who knows, down the road, Indiana would have to get past the Liberty and New York for them to potentially face the Lynx if they can get back to the WNBA finals. Either way, it would be a great matchup because of the revenge factor, and or if Caitlin Clark is playing Indiana, if the Lynx are playing Indiana, that would be a high octane, well viewed championship series for sure. So yeah, I mean it's fun.
Commissioner's Cup. The reason they created that in the NBA was to get the guys to play harder early in the season. Did they have that problem with the women then too?
No, I think it's money. I think it's an opportunity for them. They don't make anywhere near the money that obviously NBA players make, and there's some. I don't know what the cash payout is. Honestly, I didn't look into it, but I know it's something that is on their minds because they have an opportunity to get a nice bonus by winning that thing. So that it does mean something to them. Beyond, I mean, obviously people aren't going to remember necessarily who won the Commissioner's Cup when you get down to the playoffs, and that's down the road, obviously. So yeah, fun. You should watch sometime.
Does Common know anything about sports besides golf? I don't even know golf. I know baseball. There's 9 innings. 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Mm-hmm.
4 pitches outside the strike zone, you get a free pass.
That's right. They're pretty knowledgeable.
I didn't know there was a safety base.
I didn't
baseball.
either.
Somebody else texted and said they've been around for 35 years.
Come on.
I don't believe it.
At what level?
I've never seen. How could I have never seen a safety base before until today?
I don't know.
They've been around for a long time.
How much is a long time?
I feel like I remember it when I was a child. So
to some people, a long time is a day. To other people, it's a century. For PA, it's pyramids were built in the 1800s. You thought that was
a long time ago.
Closer to be, I think it was like 6 BC, but you thought it was mid 1800s.
Right.
All right. Just trying to get to the bottom of some of these things.
Well, I'm trying to help you out.
Well, you're doing a good job on it,
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think I was flipping back and forth between hockey game in the Lynx last night. The Twins I watched, and then watched them. I said, how are they going to lose this time?
Watch any Rockford Files?
I did not. I watched. I flipped over to MeTV a little bit this morning before I left the house.
What'd you watch, Mr. Ed?
No, Mr. Ed was not on. I thought maybe one of my favorite shows, The Rifleman, might be on, but it was
Chuck Connors.
Yeah, Chuck Connors and The Rifleman.
You don't.
I was a big Rifleman guy.
I would never have taken you as a Western. Did you like Gunsmoke too?
I wasn't as big a Gunsmoke guy. I watched The Rifleman with my mom, and I just, for whatever reason, I liked.
Did you know Matt Dillon never hung his hat up at Kitty's place?
I did not.
Never did.
Gunsmoke was on, yeah. And your favorite show, Hogan's Heroes, I think is on tonight. I looked at the guide. They have a whole bunch of different, with Hogan's Heroes and MASH, and I like to see what years they were on.
Why didn't Marshall Dillon and Kitty ride away together and run away?
I don't know. James Arness?
I think
he's one of us. He was one of us.
I think if he would have got down on bended knee, she would have said yes in a New York minute.
How could you turn that down? How could you turn down?
She would have said yes in a New York minute.
No, I think so.
But he didn't want to settle down.
No, he had a wandering spirit.
He did.
Yeah.
Gunsmoke.
I honestly didn't watch it that much.
Gunsmoke. Was it Gunsmoke or Bonanza that was the demise of Gilligan's Island? You know that story, right?
I've heard it.
They had signed for a fourth season. Several of the characters, the actors in Gilligan's Island had bought houses in California.
Man.
But the wife of the president of CBS wanted...
Was it Paley or something?
Yeah, it was Mrs. Paley.
Yeah.
Really liked Gunsmoke. So they axed Gilligan's Island because she liked Gunsmoke. Either Gunsmoke or Bonanza, but I think it was Gunsmoke.
Gunsmoke was on CBS.
Yes.
And so was Gilligan's Island. So Bonanza was an NBC show.
Oh, then it was
yeah,
Gunsmoke.
It had to be Gunsmoke. Yeah.
Gunsmoke.
I didn't watch either one that much. I was more into...
Were you an F Troop guy?
I loved F Troop.
Did you?
Oh, that was one of the most hilarious.
You don't strike me as an F Troop
come
guy.
on.
We just don't. I'm sorry.
I mean, Hogan's Heroes and F Troop are two of my favorite shows. That was hilarious. Yeah. Larry Storch.
Remember Larry Storch? He was on an episode of Gilligan's Island.
Was he really?
Yeah.
He got on the island?
Larry Storch was a gangster, and he had money. He was trying to wait for the heat to blow over.
How did he get over on the island?
Oh, no, they dropped him off in a helicopter.
Dropped him off.
Or in a speedboat is what it was. Larry Storch. What an actor. It's always good to see him.
It was fun. Fun.
Yeah.
We'll do it again tomorrow.
Enjoyed our visit. You'll be back tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Tenby, thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
You as well. We enjoyed our visit with you today. We really, truly did. We're back tomorrow at 12 noon. But stick around. Big Ticket JG. They're next right here on The Fan.
Good night. Good morning. Good afternoon. And good night, Minnesota.
And good night, folks. And good night, Mrs. Calabash. Wherever you are.
I'm a fraud.
Yes.
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.
Let your imagination take flight with an AI-powered PC from Lenovo. Whether it's creating digital art, designing new software, or building a portfolio for a future career, our PCs are powered by Intel Core Ultra processors to help students unlock smarter learning and unleash their creativity. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel inside. All you have to do is choose the one that fits your passion. Head to Lenovo.com to shop AI PCs and find your perfect companion. Plus, get 5% off when you create an education account.
You know what's great about your investment account with the big guys? It's actually a time machine. Log in and zoom. Welcome back to 1999. It's time for an upgrade. At Public.com, you can invest in almost everything. Stocks, bonds, options, and more. You could even put your cash to work at an industry-leading 4.1% APY. Leave your clunky, outdated platform behind at Public.com. Go to Public.com and fund your account in 5 minutes or less. Paid for by Public Investing Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Full disclosures at Public.com/disclosures.
You know, some people say that Odoo Business Management software is like fertilizer. the way it promotes growth and all. But other people say Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable. And there's some people who would even say Odoo's individual software programs come together to build the perfect suite like building blocks. Well, Odoo is all of these things. Fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. So sign up now at odoo.com, ODOO.com.
Saks Off 5th, up to 70% off every day. Summer is in full swing here at Saks Off 5th with so many exciting trends to try. From matching sets and floral dresses to wide-leg jeans and chic accessories, find all of this season's must-have styles. Plus, shop new designer arrivals weekly. Find Gucci, Valentino Garavani, Versace, Stuart Weitzman, and more. Head to SaksOff5th.com or a Saks Off 5th store near you for up to 70% off every day.